Hello friends, my name is Dr. Vijay Sharma. I am working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Management, Engineering College Bikaner. Today, we are going to discuss Chapter 1 of the paper Consumer Behavior and Market Research, which is in MBA 4th semester. So first of all, we are going to discuss the definition of what a consumer behavior means. The behavior that consumers display in searching for, purchasing, using, evaluating, and disposing of products and services that they expect will satisfy their needs is known as consumer behavior. Now we have to understand that what basically this thing means. See, it's not only a question of using or purchasing, it's a question of how a consumer behaves while he is searching, first of all, when he is purchasing, when he is using the product, when he is evaluating the product, and last but not least, how he disposes of the product or the services. Now, that's very important criteria. See, the behavior must consist of this 360-degree approach that even before the purchase, how a consumer thinks about the need identification, then how he searches for the product or the services, what are the different ways through which he purchases the product, what are the different unique ways he can use it. You would find many instances where even a matchbox can be used in different ways. And then what thought process comes in his mind while evaluating the product, and then how well he disposes of the products, whether he is disposing of, putting into a dustbin, or he is disposing of with giving to his servants to use the product since it is no more required to him. Because in India, this is a very age-old tradition that we basically dispose of the products. We don't throw the product in the street. We try to reuse the product. Maybe some other person requires it, and then we reuse the product. So we are very good in recycling the products. So it's not only a question of how a consumer is displaying the behavior in searching for. It's also a question of how he is using it, how he is evaluating it, and then at the end of the day, how he is disposing of the product and what are the products. Because as we discussed earlier, product is anything that can be offered to the market to satisfy the needs and wants of the target audience. So a product or service that they expect will satisfy them. Because at the end of the day, a consumer is purchasing the product or services assuming that it will satisfy his needs. If it is not able to satisfy his need, there would be another thought process, there would be another purchase pressure in the minds of consumers. So with this definition uh, in mind, we further comes, then there are types of different consumers. There are personal consumers, then there are institutional or organizational consumers. First of all, we are going to discuss personal consumers. See, the individual who buys goods and services for his or her own use, for household use, or maybe a use by a family member, or maybe for a friend, is known as personal consumer. If a consumer is buying goods for himself or herself, or maybe one of the family member, or his children, or his kids and canes, maybe friends, then definitely we are talking about personal consumers. And then there are organizational consumers also who are purchasing on the behalf of the organization. So that is beyond of our territory because we are not going to discuss it. We are more interested in personal consumer insights. So we are focusing right now in our chapter about personal consumers. So we can discuss, definitely we can discuss about the organizational consumers. But our idea is to get into the minds of the personal consumer because this is where the whole consumer decision making process comes in mind. Then before even discussing the consumer behavior per se, we have to discuss some of the salient features of what is all about marketing. Because consumer behavior is one offshoot of market uh, concept. So first of all, we have to discuss about what is all about marketing concepts. As we have discussed in MBA first semester classes, or sorry, in the MBA second semester classes, marketing evolved over a period of years. Not even a one day or not even 10 years or 20 years. Marketing is constantly evolving for the last 150 years, and it is still evolving. There were time when there was a concept, the first concept came in 1900, what known as production concept, and then production concept was replaced by product concept, then product concept replaced by selling concept, and then marketing concept. So one by one we are going to discuss. The production concept assumes that consumers are interested primarily in product availability at lower prices. Now we have to think about it. What this definition or what this concept or philosophy or orientation, whatever the name you can take, one and the same thing. What is all about the production concept? Now, the production concept says that the consumers are interested only on those products which are economic in nature or which are readily available. Now, what are the marketing objectives behind this production concept? It says that the organization must focus on cheap and efficient production. Now we are no more using this word cheap. We are saying it's economic and efficient production and very much intensive distribution, and then definitely market expansion. So the production concept uh, says that consumers are interested only on those products which are economic in nature. And then definitely, if we are following this concept, then the marketing objective would definitely be creating or producing uh, very economically efficient products, such such as maybe a value for money products, and then focus on intensive distributions with market expansion. The another concept says that is known as product concept. It assumes that consumers will buy the products that offers them the highest quality, the best performance, and the most features. Now, the production concept says that consumers are interested in economic products, but the product concept is in contrast with this production concept. According to product concept, it says that consumers are not interested in economic products. What we say in layman term is cheap products. It says that instead of going for economic products, consumers are interested in quality products. The product which offers the highest quality or the best performance or the most features. What would be the marketing objectives here? So by by the definition it goes, there are two definitions. First is quality improvement and second is addition of features. But it has a tendency towards marketing myopia. Now we are going to discuss what is marketing myopia in later chapters, but the product concept has this problem that it is basically focusing on about quality improvement and addition of features while forgetting overall the market. It is somewhat introspecting approach rather than having a whole-sighted or full-sighted approach. It is very introspecting and very narrow approach. Then came the selling concept between 1960s to 1990s. It assumed that consumers are unlikely to buy a product unless they are aggressively persuaded to do so. Consumers, if left alone, are not interested in your product. Now, what we mean by if left alone, what would be the definition of saying that if left alone? Now, when we see an advertisement, when we are watching an advertisement, this is a sort of stimulus for us. So if we remove these all stimulus from the mind of the customers, if consumers are not bombarded with different advertisements or many selling schemes insisting them to purchase this product before the end of this week or before the end of the month or before the end of the year, so that you can get some benefits, you can get this product in discount, prices, maybe Diwali Dhamaka or the New Year Dhamaka. So these all tools and techniques are comes under the periphery of selling concept, which says that consumers are actually not interested in your products, and a marketer has to aggressively persuade the consumers to do so. So what could be the marketing objective? Marketing objective here remains very simple. It is sell, sell, and sell on whatever the cost is. So we have to devise, so marketers have to devise some strategies, maybe the short-term strategies or tactics or long-term strategies to persuade the consumers to buy the products. Buy one get one free offers, or the coupon offers, or the lucky draw offers. These all offers, these all tools are comes under the selling concept, because it says that you have to offer your product in such a way that it must look like a value for money product. Otherwise, consumers will not purchase it. So this is the selling concept which basically does not concern with customers' needs and satisfaction. So this concept was relevant for a very long time, but then eventually it was overlapped by marketing concept. Marketing concept assumes that to be successful, a company must determine the needs and wants of specific target markets and deliver the desired satisfaction better than the competitor. Now, it is again in contrast with other definitions of or other concepts or orientations of the earlier concepts, such as production concept, product concept, or selling concept. While the other three concepts were talking about the company, this concept, marketing concepts, talks about the consumers. For it, the consumers comes first, the company comes second. All the other, these three, which we discussed earlier, production, product, and selling concepts, were basically introverted. They were looking towards the organization first and then the customer. But marketing concept, in contrast, said that the consumers comes first. A marketer duty is to identify the needs and wants of the target audience and create that product and deliver it more effectively and efficiently than the competitor. So, for instance, if a competitor is uh, offering a product in 10 rupees, the company must offer a better product in lesser prices. So, it automatically creates value for money proposition for the company. And it's not only a question about value for money product, because again, price is all about psyche. It is psychological. Pricing is all about psychological. We will going to discuss later on when we will be discussing about pricing techniques in consumer behavior. But we have to remind ourselves of that price basically is a psychological thing. For a person, a price of 100 rupees might be very high, and for a person or the same person, price of 100 rupees might not be very high, looking about the value for money propositions. So a company must determine first of all what it has to do, needs, and first of all identify the needs and wants of specific target market and deliver the desired product better than the competition. What would be the marketing objective? Marketing objective remains very simple and straightforward, that company profits through customer satisfaction. If a customer is satisfied, there would be a repeat purchase, and by the repeat purchase, the company would create profits. So this is marketing concept. Now, how to implement the marketing concept? There are four methods or steps to implement it. First is extensive consumer research, because as I said earlier in my class, that company has to identify the needs and wants of the target market. Now, if you are going to identify the needs and wants of the target market, you have to do extensive market research. You have to be in the market first of all. You have to talk to your customers. You have to take focused interviews with your customers. What they think, what they need, what they want, and how a company can create a product that caters to the specific needs better than the competitor. Then the second pillar is segmenting, third is targeting, and the fourth one is positioning. Now, what we are talking about segmenting, targeting, and positioning. Now, segmentation is a process of dividing the market into subsets of consumers with common needs or characters. Targeting is selecting one core more of the segment to pursue, and positioning is developing a distinct image for the product in the minds of the consumer. So, in short form, we know this thing as STP, segmenting, targeting, and positioning. Again, I would stress it that segmenting is the process of dividing the market into subsets of consumers with common needs or characteristics. Say, for instance, a cloth manufacturer can decide that I'm going to cater only kids' cloths who are between the age of 1 to 10, or maybe a FMCG company can say that I'm going to cater only a lower strata of the people who does not have much disposable income, or a company can say that I'm going to make shoes for women cricket players. It's a very niche segment, and we are going to discuss what about niche segment at all. But this is the way how a segmentation goes. Then the second thing is targeting, where if we have selected one particular segment, we are going to target it, and then positioning. We have to create a distinct image for the product in the minds of the consumers. Successful positioning means communicating the benefits of the product rather than the features. If you take an example of, I can give so many examples, but the most appropriate example would be to about Apple iPhone, because this particular product never tells about what are the price of the product is. It always talks about what are the benefits by using this product, and that's why it has a charisma. It has a certain image in the minds of the customers, and then communicating a unique selling proposition for the product. So these two things are very important in successful positioning. Then consumer behavior encompasses marketing mix, product, price, place, and promotion that we have already discussed in the second semester in our marketing management classes, but they are still very relevant here. Then comes the societal marketing concept. After discussing the production concept, product concept, selling concept, marketing concept, the fifth concept, the fifth orientation or the fifth philosophy of marketing, which is very contemporary now these days, is societal marketing concept. Now, this concept says that all companies prosper when society prospers. So, your individual needs must not be looked, but a society need must be taken care of. Companies as well as individuals would be better off if social responsibility was an integral component of every marketing decision, and it requires all marketers adhere to the principle of social responsibility. Again, you have to focus on certain issues about it. What we are talking about is taking society first and the consumer second. While in marketing concept, we talk about consumer first and company second. Here, there are three pronged strategies. There are three layers. First is society, then the consumer, and then the organization. An organization has to take care of or enhance the society's well-being even before offering a product which satisfies the consumer's needs. For example, cigarette smoking might be a need of a customer, but in a long run, if you talk wholeheartedly or you take holistic view of this problem, We can say that cigarette smoking is not very good for a society per se. So an organization must find, or maybe the government must do something to reduce this need in longer run. And that's why you see that there are many taxes imposed on liquor and cigarette smoking. Government has made it very much mandatory on these products, that these products are injurious to health, so as to uh, detach the customers from this particular need. Why so? Because a society's well-being is paramount. Individual well-being or individuals' needs and wants comes secondary, but a society's well-being is primary. Now, in the last, we are going to discuss the digital revolution in the marketplace. We have seen that with the advent of internet, now the market has evolved into a digital revolution. And digital revolution allows customization of products, services, and promotional messages like never before. It enhances relationship with the customers more effectively and efficiently, and has increased the power of customers and given them access to more information. These all internet facilities and the 4Gs and the 5G techniques have enabled to some extent to bridge the gap between the customers and the companies. Companies are more willing to learn or get feedback from the customers, and customers are encouraged by the companies to provide feedback in different ways. Earlier, there were not a straightforward mechanism for this feedback system, but now these days we find that companies are sharing their phone numbers, their email addresses, or in fact they are going by using social medias. Maybe Facebook or WhatsApp has been used like never before in keeping in touch with the potential customers and the existing customers, and companies are trying to create a sort of a customer relationship management which not only provide satisfaction to the customers, but it makes them delight while using their product. So thank you very much for this chapter.